After lights out that night, the dorm supervisor suddenly sent a message in the group chat. A surprise inspection. All students had to turn their room lights on. Anyone who didn't would be assumed to have sneaked out and would be reported and penalized. I was just about to flip the switch when I received a private message from someone in room 533. They said, "Don't turn on the light. It's a trap. They're not who they say they are. The manager is no longer the manager. Someone's impersonating them. If you turn on the light, they'll know which rooms are still occupied." It was a summer night, oppressively hot and eerily silent. No wind, no insects. The sky seemed to press down on the dormitory block, nestled deep in the gray woods outside Bergen, Norway, home to a special disciplinary campus for students on the verge of expulsion. We were the underachievers, the weakest of our class, sent here for a so-called academic rehabilitation program. One last chance, they called it, but the price was total isolation. One person per room, no direct contact, no communication, and absolutely no stepping outside after dark. The administrators were strict, always conducting surprise checks. They said it was to build inner discipline. It was nearly midnight when the group message appeared. "Surprise inspection. Turn on your room lights. Anyone who doesn't comply will immediately be added to the at-risk evaluation list." My hand was already on the switch when that private message came from someone I didn't know. Room 533. The message was simple, cold, not threatening. Just a quiet warning. It rattled me. I remembered a third-year student everyone used to talk about, someone considered level-headed. He stayed in room 17. I opened Messenger and sent a quick message. "Did you turn on your light? There's a rumor someone murdered a staff member and is now impersonating them, going room to room." The reply came almost immediately. "That's nonsense. You do know the guy in 503 is near the bottom of the ranking, right? If I get marked as non-compliant, he gains one more chance to survive." Classic dirty trick. It made sense. Until I froze. I'd never told 107 that the warning came from 503. How did he know? I yanked my hand back from the switch. My heart started pounding. My chest tightened. Another group message popped up. "Rooms with no lights on will be evaluated in 3 minutes." I didn't respond. I just waited. Then another message from 503 came through. "I warned 2 people on the first floor. They didn't listen. I think they've been killed. If I'm right, then the killer is on their way upstairs." Part of me wanted to believe him, but another part was drowning in doubt, because fear, I knew, can be deadlier than the truth. Then another message from 107. "By the way, which room are you in again?" "Not turning the light on is fine. I know someone on staff downstairs." My blood ran cold. 107 had visited my room before. He knew exactly where I stayed, room 205. Was this even the same 107? Or had someone else taken his place? I didn't respond. I quietly pulled out my backup phone and a small camera from my backpack, connected the camera to my main account, and placed it on the bookshelf, pointing directly at my room door. Then I sent 17 one last message. "I'm in room 25, didn't turn on the light. If you could, please explain that to the supervisor. Thanks." After that, I opened my door, slipped out into the pitch-black hallway, and crept into an empty room. Room 211. Its lock had been broken for a while. I'd checked it out yesterday while considering switching rooms. In the darkness of this unfamiliar space, I opened my phone and checked the camera feed from my room. The door to room 205 had been opened. Someone stepped inside. He was tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in dark clothes, and holding a long knife. Without hesitation, he walked straight to the bed and swung the blade in one clean, deliberate strike. If I had still been there, I'd be dead. I swallowed hard, crouched down, my entire body trembling. On the screen, the man looked around, realizing the room was empty. Then he pulled out a phone. The glow of the screen lit up his face, but he was wearing a mask. And then something even more terrifying happened. A man in a police uniform stepped into view from the hallway. He looked around, nodded at the killer, and they began speaking, naturally, like co-workers on a night shift. I hit record. On the video, I could hear the officer say clearly, "We're running out of time. How many have escaped?" The killer replied, voice calm and flat. 107 and 115 are taken care of. As for the rest, the only ones I'm sure are still alive are 205 and 503. My grip tightened around the phone. 2 left, me and 503. "Let's move, still more rooms to check." They turned and walked out of room 2 and 5, like it was just part of their routine. At that moment, the only person I could even think of trusting was 5, 2, and 3. But even then, in the deepest corners of my mind, doubt crawled like a shadow. This person, or rather this being, knew far too much. I quickly sent a message. "Who are they? Why do you know so much about everything?" The reply came almost instantly, cold and resolute. "I know how to survive. There are only 6 of us left alive now. We have to regroup if we want to stay alive." I was about to hit send, ready to reply, but then I paused. Something about that message felt off, like a well-crafted trap. "We have to regroup." The words sounded like an invitation, but beneath them lurked a much darker intention. I erased the message I just written and typed instead, blunt and direct. "You're the killer, aren't you?" 503's response was just a dry, mocking chuckle. "Ha, ha!" A chill crept down my spine. Had 503 also been part of the horrific murders? But he didn't stop there. "You're sharp. I don't play with fools. Stay alert. We need to work together." Suddenly I understood. It was a test, a challenge of trust. Had I revealed too much too easily or agreed to meet, I might have walked right into their snare. And just like that, I was added into a private group chat with 4 others. Besides me and 503, there were 308 and 511. Only 4 of us? But you said 6 survived. Before I could even type that, 503 spoke. "We don't know each other's faces. Each of us must keep our location and identity secret. The one rule tonight, no in-person meetings. If anyone tries to find out where you are, consider them the enemy." 503 continued, his tone growing grim. "Our mission is to find the killer. How many of them are there? How many accomplices?" I typed quickly. 3 killers, 1 of them is a cop. Don't call the police anymore. 38 had reacted with surprise. "Are you sure?" I didn't explain. I sent the video I'd recorded to the group. Everyone went silent to watch. Then 511, who hadn't said a word until now, suddenly sent me a friend request. I accepted. He messaged immediately. "The man wearing the mask in the video. That's 503. I asked in shock. "How could you tell? The video's way too dark." 511 replied. "I've been with 503 for the past 2 days. I recognized him immediately. That's probably why he knows so much." My mind spun in chaos. If 503 was the killer, why warn us at all? Wouldn't it be easier to kill us outright? 511 suggested that 503 might be the ringleader. If someone survived, they'd assume 503 tried to help. A clever misdirection. I countered, watched the video again. 503 didn't know I had hidden a camera. When the cop mentioned 503, it showed he wasn't the real 503. 511 replied. "How do you know your camera wasn't discovered? They could have staged the whole thing." I went quiet. Then I called the number that had been contacting me. The ringtone echoed eerily through the still night, then abruptly stopped. The sound hadn't come from the second floor. It had come from directly above me. The phone had been found and taken. 511 messaged, "What's going on? What did you just do?" I answered truthfully. "I called the number. The phone's gone." 511 quickly warned me, "Check the group chat now, he's about to make his move." I rushed back. 503 was typing furiously. "The cops are now on the enemy's side. We have two choices, run or strike back. If no one's close to 404 and 312, I'll use them as bait, but I need your help." Now I understood why those two hadn't joined the group yet. 511 asked, "How do you know someone's trying to kill us?" The response came so fast it startled me. "Because you told me." 511 denied it. 503 explained, "Don't you remember? During dinner, you brought your lunchbox to my dorm. We went together, yelling and laughing. You don't recall." 511 insisted, "I ate dinner alone." 503 continued, "You also told me that I should only explain why I knew so much if you asked, but I never said anything like that. So how would you know?" 5 and 11 seemed to catch on. "Aha! Caught ya. You're lying." He posted a photo to the group. 503 immediately countered with a photo of his own, of their dinner together, showing 511 and his lunchbox. Both kept posting pictures and screenshots as proof. The chat was soon flooded with confusion. "I'm sure I didn't eat with you. I never sent that message." My head pounded. Then 308 messaged me privately. What if they're both already dead? Their phones are in the hands of the killer. I replied calmly, "If all they wanted was to kill us, they wouldn't need such a complicated setup. There's something else going on." 308 sighed. "One or both of them can't be trusted. I think you and I should stick together." I thought for a moment, then replied, 511 seems more suspicious. The guy in the photo is him. Messages can be faked. He once bragged about his editing skills. 308 groaned, "God, this is a mess. Check the group again." I did. 503 had typed more. "The group, the plan to fight back, all of it was suggested by you. Even the idea of sacrificing others. I already told 404 and 312 to gather on the rooftop. It's above the dorm supervisor's room and connects to our second floor. It's the only escape route, one only we know about." I stood frozen, my heart thundered in my chest. And yet I was the first to speak, my voice like something rising from a cold, forgotten abyss. "I'll join." Immediately, 503 messaged me privately, words like blade slicing through the thin veil of trust. "Join what? That was just a cover. The real plan is different." A shiver ran down my spine. I asked quietly, "What's the real plan?" The reply struck like thunder in a dark sky. "There are 4 killers, split into 2 pairs. 2 pose as bait, drawing us in. The other 2 wait at the back door, cutting off escape. We'll head to the rooftop, hide in the shadows, and ambush 2 of them. 3 versus 2. We won't lose. Worst case, it's 2 on 2, but there are only 3 of us. If 511 can't be trusted, maybe 308's already been removed from the plan." I frowned. My thoughts whirled like a cold, raging storm. 308 had drawn me in earlier, but now, when the plan was revealed, he changed. Like someone who already knew how the trap would be sprung at the back door. I sighed and typed, "So 308 is the infiltrator. I knew you were smart." 503 responded, tone edged with challenge. "You know a 3-on-2 or 2-on-2 fight is a death sentence for someone." After a long silence, 503 added, "Don't reveal the plan to 511. If he met with you this afternoon, helped make plans, he'll already know. If not, he's the killer waiting at the back." Something colder than the night outside seeped into my thoughts. Betrayal. I grabbed the iron bar from my bunk bed, clutching it like the last line of defense against the creeping dark. The dorm door slammed behind me. The hallway was so silent I could hear my own breath. As I neared room 201, the door creaked open. A low, rough voice called out, "You're from room 205, aren't you?" I gripped the metal rod tightly and responded in a firm voice. Yes. He stepped out, his figure blurred under the dim yellow light, also holding a steel pipe. I'm in room 503. Looks like it's just the two of us. He pointed toward the window at the end of the hallway, where the moonlight faintly illuminated the platform. That window is the only way to the platform. The wall on the other side is too high to climb over. The other two are as good as dead. We just need to keep watch here. I silently vowed to myself, whoever steps within my reach will never leave unscathed. We split up and lay in ambush by the window, quietly waiting as darkness gradually enveloped us. Suddenly, a scream tore through the stillness, shattering the false peace. The sound of hurried footsteps echoed outside the window. The upper body of the first killer silently slipped through the window. 503 and I acted in unison, without hesitation. He was dressed in black, still wearing the mysterious mask. The steel pipe struck his face, silencing any screams. He collapsed, but I didn't stop, relentlessly striking the back of his head. The footsteps outside fell silent. Clearly, the other had been terrified. 503 quietly moved ahead, and I followed closely. We chased the last killer up to the rooftop. Before us lay two motionless bodies, their blood staining the tiles red. 404 and 312. We knew they had been doomed from the start. The rooftop was cold, the wind howling through every crevice. The killer turned his back to us, holding a knife, retreating toward the boundary between life and death. That night, under the silver moonlight, everything became surreal, like a tragic and cruel play, where life and death were separated by a single step. 503, and I charged forward like cold winds from the north, the air freezing with each strike of our metal rods. He backed away, trying to speak, his voice trembling with despair. Wait, don't kill me. I could tell you the truth. But I paid no attention. 503 delivered a blow to his hand, and the metal rod in my hand, cold as ice, struck his head. He staggered, his eyes wide with utter fear. I showed no mercy, continuing to strike his head forcefully, the sounds of impact echoing in the dark like death knells. He collapsed, and 503 rushed in, delivering several fatal blows to his face, rendering the killer completely motionless. For the first time, I had killed someone. A wave of emotion surged, causing me to turn away and vomit onto the cold stone floor. But as I bent down, the pale moonlight revealed a horrifying sight, as if from an inescapable nightmare. The corpse at my feet bore my own face. My entire body trembled, goosebumps rising on my skin, blood spread across the ground, the moonlight highlighting every chilling detail of that face. 503 stood beside me, his eyes filled with confusion and fear. But I couldn't let him know that there were other killers, other ghostly souls lingering among us. Before I could say anything, a cold wind blew from behind, like the breath of death. A figure in a dark cloak stood behind me, a gleaming knife drawn and plunged straight into my side. Overwhelmed by helplessness, I wanted to scream, but the sound was caught in my throat. The attacker seized the opportunity to kick me hard, causing me to fall onto the icy stone floor. 503 fared no better. He was surrounded, the cloaked figure's knife continuously slicing his arms, shoulders, and abdomen. As my eyes began to close, I saw a figure appear at the window not far away. He stepped out calmly and decisively. I recognized him immediately. It was 511, my classmate from room 511. His image in the group had revealed that cold face, and now he stood before me with a completely different demeanor, unflustered, exuding the aura of a predator. The steel pipe in 503's hand fell, rolling across the cold stone floor. The cloaked figure raised his knife, ready to end 503's life. But he, like me, failed to notice 511 behind him. The cloaked figure turned his head, looking at 511 with disbelief. Then he fell, blood pouring from a fatal wound. A glimmer of hope sparked within me. Only one killer remained. If we could defeat him, I would be saved. But reality had another cruel twist. I looked at the knife in 511's hand. It was identical to the one the cloaked figure had wielded. You really came?" 503 panted, sitting on the ground, seemingly unable to stand. 511 smiled coldly and replied, "Yes, I came." I thought about the messages in the group. 511 hadn't had dinner with 503 that day, nor had he warned him about the impending murders. A thought crossed my mind. Could there be two 511s? The person we now faced was the one who had silently hidden, orchestrating everything to force 503 into becoming a pawn, and finally appearing to reap the benefits. I no longer had the strength to warn 503. My eyes gradually closed, but the image of 511 and 503's terrified gaze lingered in my mind. That was the end. My eyelids grew heavy, about to close completely. At that moment, a policeman appeared beside 511, and they began to converse. His voice echoed from another world, cold and authoritative. "So everyone is dead? I've won. Now can you give me the answer?" "Don't rush," 501 replied. "The time hasn't come yet. I can request an early end, right? If everyone is dead, then let's end it." That's easy. "Are you sure?" "Absolutely, I want to end it." The policeman hesitated, then coldly declared, "All right, I declare, you have failed." 511 was shocked, asking, "How can that be? Everyone is dead. Why don't you check the bodies?" The policeman turned to me, a cold smile crossing his face. At that moment, I could no longer move or make a sound. 511 believed I was dead, but I realized something worse when I saw his angry eyes, the knife gleaming in his hand as he approached me. Then I awoke, realizing I had died. What the hell is this? Everything continued to spiral into chaos. The policeman raised his hand and snapped his fingers. 511 instantly turned to ash, scattering in the cold night wind. What the hell is this? In the blink of an eye, the policeman stood before me, smiling, "You have won." A flash of light, and I found myself awake beneath the dormitory, standing firmly on my feet. I touched my waist. No wound, my clothes spotless. No blood. Looking down, I saw the familiar black outfit, mask and knife lying there as if awaiting a new game to begin. A voice echoed in my mind. "The next round is about to start. Prepare yourself. You must kill everyone within the time limit to win. If you succeed, you will be allowed to ask one question, and then you may leave." I turned around. The policeman stood behind me, a sinister smile gleaming in his cold eyes.